a mystery interstellar object that was spotted by astronomers last week. It could be the oldest comet ever seen. It's only the third time that we've actually detected an object that has come from beyond our solar system.
The gold standard for looking for these objects.
Imagine this: a hush falls over the world, and then, with a single sentence, the silence shatters. We have detected something. Not from here. That was the moment theoretical physicist Mio Keikaku unveiled a discovery that would jolt science, culture, and imagination into overdrive. A new object had slipped into our solar system. Not a comet, not an asteroid, but something that moved like it had a mind of its own. At first, telescopes in high Earth orbit caught a strange signal in the Kuiper belt, just a flicker dismissed as noise. But the readings didn't fade, they intensified. When observatories across the globe cross-checked the data, one fact became undeniable. A real, physical object was inbound, behaving in ways nature alone could never explain. It slowed, it sped up, it shifted course, defying the predictable pull of gravity. And then came the real kicker. It pulsed with a steady electromagnetic signature, like a heartbeat in the dark. Its surface reflected sunlight strangely, absorbing massive amounts of radiation while releasing infrared bursts. Precise, timed, like packets of information. This wasn't random. This was deliberate. The more scientists studied it, the more it felt designed. And if it was designed, then somewhere something had built it. Tracking its course revealed a calculated path. A close brush past Jupiter's magnetosphere, then a slingshot toward a high orbit around the sun. This wasn't drifting debris. This was a maneuver. And if it was maneuvering, it meant propulsion. Not the kind we know, no chemical trails, no visible thrust, but something advanced enough to be almost invisible. Its structure only deepened the mystery. High-resolution images revealed a crystalline, modular shape, shifting like muscle under skin, adapting to solar wind and radiation. Some began to wonder, was this just a machine or something bioengineered? Could it heal, learn, think? Then came the signal patterns. Not words, not images, numbers, the golden ratio, pi, the Fibonacci sequence, the universal fingerprints of intelligence. But the object never turned toward Earth, never aimed its signals at us. Simply passed through, scanning, recording, ignoring. Was humanity too primitive to warrant engagement? Yet its presence ignited something profound. Nations set aside rivalries to share data. Children flooded classrooms with questions about the universe. Artists, scientists, and philosophers all found inspiration in the silent visitor. It became a mirror showing us what we could be, and perhaps why we weren't ready yet. When it finally shifted course to leave the solar system, it did so with intention. No gravitational push could explain its departure. It learned, it left, mission complete. We don't know what it saw or where it will go next. But its existence changed everything. Because now we know. We're not the only architects in the universe. Others are out there, building, exploring, watching, and maybe, just maybe, waiting for us to catch up. If you think humanity is ready for that next step, remember, the stars are watching. And the question isn't if we'll meet them. It's when. The moment Mio Keikaku stepped forward to address the world, it wasn't just another scientific briefing. It was the kind of announcement that rewires how humanity sees itself in the universe. With a calm but electric tone, he revealed the discovery of an object entering our solar system that defied every category known to science. Initially dismissed as background noise from the Kuiper belt, the object's consistent, structured signals and undeniable presence soon became impossible to ignore. This was no comet tumbling aimlessly, no asteroid trapped in predictable gravitational patterns. It behaved as if it had purpose. The data told a story of something slowing down, accelerating, and subtly altering its trajectory in ways no natural object could. Then came the electromagnetic signature. Pulses steady enough to feel like the beat of an alien heart, accompanied by an uncanny pattern of infrared emissions that appeared timed and deliberate, almost like data transmissions. Its reflectivity baffled scientists, absorbing solar energy in unnatural amounts while releasing bursts of heat as if under precise control. International telescopes locked onto it, revealing a crystalline, modular structure. Panels shifting orientation like the petals of a flower reacting to sunlight, suggesting adaptive engineering or even biological integration. Some began to speculate that it might not just be a machine, but a hybrid of technology and life, capable of healing, adapting, and thinking in ways beyond human comprehension. As its path brought it near Jupiter's magnetosphere for a gravity-assist maneuver eerily similar to techniques used by human spacecraft, the implications deepened. This wasn't a rock passing through, it was a craft navigating. And its signals? Not random noise but mathematical constants, the golden ratio, pi, the Fibonacci sequence, universal markers of intelligence that could transcend language barriers. Yet, despite the mounting evidence of its artificial origin, it never altered course toward Earth, never beamed a signal our way. Perhaps we were not its target, or perhaps we simply didn't meet whatever criteria it was looking for. The idea emerged that it could be part of a larger network of such probes, silently mapping star systems, gathering data, and initiating contact only with civilizations deemed advanced or stable enough. But even without direct communication, its presence sent shockwaves through every layer of human society. Governments that once competed over space resources began sharing data. Children flooded classrooms with questions about the cosmos. Artists, philosophers, and scientists alike found new fuel for their creativity and theories. The object became a mirror, reflecting both our curiosity and our limitations. And when it finally altered course again, this time to leave the solar system with a smooth, untraceable propulsion that defied every known law of motion, it left us with as many questions as answers. Had it completed its mission? Was it sending its findings home? Would another follow? The silence it left behind wasn't emptiness. It was a challenge, an invitation to step into a broader cosmic conversation. Because now, humanity knew it was not the only architect in the stars, and that realization would forever change the way we looked at the night sky. Even after the mysterious object disappeared into the void beyond our solar system, its impact refused to fade. It became the axis around which new sciences, philosophies, and ambitions revolved. The vast troves of data it left behind were so complex, so layered, that entire research institutions formed just to interpret them, splitting into fields that didn't even exist before its arrival. Dynamic space-time engineering, environmental cognition matrices, hyperdimensional data storage. Scientists studying its movement patterns began to suspect it navigated not only through space, but with a profound awareness of time, avoiding asteroid fields as if it arrived early or came late, predicting solar weather with a precision that bordered on precognition. Engineers obsessed over its lack of visible propulsion, hypothesizing drives that manipulated inertia itself or bent local space to eliminate resistance. Even its design reshaped human creativity. Its crystalline, organic symmetry inspired spacecraft prototypes, architectural blueprints, even wearable technology, all infused with a new aesthetic that merged elegance with adaptability. Culturally, the object became more than a scientific mystery. It became a symbol. Religions found in it echoes of ancient prophecy, while secular thinkers saw it as a living embodiment of human aspiration. A reminder that the laws we think are unbreakable may simply be the limits of our current understanding. Nations that once viewed space as a theater for competition began cooperating on a scale unseen in modern history, realizing that ignorance was a greater adversary than any geopolitical rival. And through it all lingered the unshakable awareness that, somewhere out there, intelligence older and more capable than our own had chosen, at least for now, to simply watch. That decision in itself carried weight. It suggested patience, caution, and perhaps an understanding of the dangers of premature contact. Yet for all the unanswered questions, who sent it? What did it record? Where is it going now? The most profound shift was internal. Humanity began to think less like an isolated species and more like a young participant in a much older, much larger cosmic community. And in that subtle but irreversible change, the object accomplished something extraordinary. Without a word, without a single act of aggression or invitation, it rewrote the boundaries of human possibility. Years later, the object's legacy still ripples through every facet of human life, shaping not only science but the very narrative of what it means to exist in a shared universe. Entire generations have grown up in a post-visitor world, where the night sky is no longer just a scatter of distant lights but a stage where something once arrived, looked, and left without a word. Universities teach the encounter era as a pivotal chapter in history, marking the point when humanity stopped asking if we were alone and began asking why we were noticed at all. Technological leaps born from studying the object's data have propelled humanity forward. Ships with adaptive surfaces that mimic its metamaterials now glide through low Earth orbit, energy harvesting systems inspired by its solar manipulation power entire cities, and AI systems modeled on its apparent environmental cognition operate with unprecedented autonomy in deep space probes. But perhaps the most profound transformation has been philosophical. Civilizations, cultures, and religions now wrestle with a shared truth that intelligence, whether organic, synthetic, or something in between, exists far beyond Earth and possibly thrives in forms our minds can barely comprehend. Yet, despite the progress, a collective restlessness lingers. The object's refusal to engage directly, to acknowledge us in any unmistakable way, is both humbling and maddening. Some interpret it as a test, proof that we must reach a certain threshold of stability and cooperation before we are deemed worth talking to. Others believe we've already been catalogued, our planet's chapter closed in whatever archive this traveler belongs to. Still, missions are in motion. Fleets of next-generation interceptors are being planned, not just to chase any future visitor but to seek out whatever sent the first one. In quiet moments, astronomers track faint echoes of movement in distant star fields, hoping to spot another glint, another pulse, another deliberate curve in the black. And in those moments, one truth holds firm. Whether it takes decades or centuries, when the next visitor comes, humanity will not be the same hesitant observer it was before. We'll be ready to answer. And maybe then the silence will break.